There has been 650 rejections on solar and wind projects in the United States. A similar number have happened in Australia. The same thing is happening in Europe. These objections, these fear campaigns are sponsored by big oil. All the bad things that are going to happen from renewables and EVs, if you actually use them, they're going to destroy the world apparently. Now, unfortunately, this is really ramping up in a very big way in Australia. The disinformation campaigns have reached fever pitch. The funding of fake studies from environmentalist scientists and research laboratories from big oil, I'm talking utter corruption here, has reached an epidemic. In the last few weeks, guys, I've been sent numerous articles like the one I'm about to share with you now. Now, fortunately, most of this hasn't gone viral until this one just did in the United States. Scientists are now saying that emissions from cars and trucks, diesel and petrol, now, yeah, sure, they're not good for you to breathe in, but apparently global warming is going to accelerate at a much faster degree if we don't continue to cover our cities in smog from engines. They're saying if we don't do this, it's going to be a disaster. Now, in addition to that, new research has come out saying that electric cars, green energy, and solar are killing 4,642 species. Honestly, guys, when I first started seeing some of these articles and some of these research studies, I thought, you know what, this is just niche. Let's just ignore it. But now it's become a sickening disease. Big oil, fossil fuels will stop at absolutely nothing to try and convince people that renewable energy is bad for you and it's going to kill all of us. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. I wish I was joking, but this is very, very true. Now, just want to let you all know, I just had a solar system installed. I'll have a video up on the channel very soon. The solar panels cover most of my roof, so it should be able to cover charging an EV and also cover our costs here. Resync Solar was the company that installed the solar system, and I'll put a link in the description below to Resync Solar. Guys, I get nothing out of this. There's no payment that they give me. But what I do get out of this is the satisfaction of knowing that if you get a solar system installed, hopefully you do, you'll get the best system possible. And their customer service is just mind-blowing. That's why their reviews, they have like 2,000 reviews, and I think 1,998 5-star reviews. It's insane. Anyhow, now there's been new research saying that renewable energy and EVs will kill 4,642 species. This was published in numerous publications in America over the last 4 or 5 days. Interesting Engineering, unfortunately, published this utter bullshit. And it is ridiculous, guys. I'm going to share with you what they're saying. Then I'm going to share with you what I think is really going on here. Apparently, among all species, fish are particularly at risk from mining, with 2,053 species of fish affected, followed by reptiles, amphibians, birds, and mammals, of course. Now, of course, none of these species are affected in any way by fossil fuels. Fossil fuels have no bearing on them whatsoever. I'm joking, of course. Every country pursues the global mission of transitioning to clean energy to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. However, the shift to renewable energy sources, says Interesting Engineering, has endangered 4,642 species of vertebrates. A new study said that mineral extraction worldwide through mining, quarrying, and drilling for oil and gas is threatening these species. Now, here's the thing. This study, right, it does say drilling for oil and gas is threatening them, not just drilling for minerals for renewables. But there's an insane amount of media just presenting this story as though it's just from electric cars, from renewables. It's got nothing to do with oil and gas. It's all purely EVs and renewables that are going to cause 4,600 species to go extinct. Now, the study doesn't actually say that. It says what I just said. Various things can cause this. Mining activities coincide with some of the most valuable biodiversity hotspots in the world, which harbour a wide variety of species and unique habitats that are not found anywhere else on Earth. Now, before I continue, I should mention everything that goes into an EV battery is getting recycled, and within probably, analysts are estimating by about 2052 to 2055, we will no longer need to mine for battery materials ever in the history of the planet. Now, that's, in my opinion, the amazing thing about batteries and about electric cars, that we only need to mine for them for about the next 30 years, and then we'll have enough materials. Now, I don't think it's going to take 30 years. I think maybe 20. But anyway, the point is that everything that goes into these batteries is getting recycled. Everything you burn in a combustion engine is just burnt, and that's it. That's the end of it. The transition to clean energy, though, says the study poses a significant threat to species due to mining essential materials like lithium and cobalt, which are key components of solar panels, wind turbines, and electric cars. Now, obviously, lithium and cobalt are certainly not key components of solar panels, wind turbines, as interesting engineering and many other publications are claiming. You do not need lithium or cobalt for solar panels or wind turbines. And in fact, you don't need cobalt for EVs either. Actually, now, more than half the world's batteries don't use cobalt. About 70% of the world's batteries that were produced last year had no cobalt in them at all. Anyhow, apparently mining is increasing risk. Quarrying for limestone, which is needed in large quantities for cement as a construction material, also endangers many species. Now, we're getting off track here. This is what the media do. When they've got a bullshit story, they get off track. They sidetrack you with a bunch of nonsense. The threat to nature, says Interesting Engineering, isn't limited to the physical locations of the mines. For example, species living at great distances can also be impacted by polluted watercourses or deforestation for new access roads and infrastructure. The researchers say that governments and the mining industry should concentrate on reducing the pollution caused by mining as an easy win to minimize the biodiversity loss linked to mineral extraction. Now, speaking of biodiversity loss, a huge percentage of the world's lithium comes from Australia. And I can tell you now, Australian regulations on biodiversity loss are through the roof. You cannot get rid of habitats and species. That just doesn't happen here in Australia. Outside of Australia, well, a lot of the lithium that we've discovered is in places like deserts, it's in the Salton Sea, places where, to be honest, there's not really anything living. Now, there may be other places outside of there where lithium is coming from, Argentina and Chile. Maybe habitats will be affected there. I'm not sure. Can't really say either way. Now, this is the most complete global assessment, they say, of the threat to biodiversity from mineral extraction ever undertaken. The results are published in the Journal of Current Biology. We simply won't be able to deliver the clean energy we need to reduce our climate impact without mining for the materials we need. And that creates a problem because we're mining locations that often have very high levels of biodiversity, said Professor David Edwards in the University of Cambridge's Department of Plant Sciences and Conservation Research Institute, senior author of the report. Now, that's a very general statement, isn't it? He doesn't actually give specific locations there, just a very blanket statement. I really like it when you see reports like this and they say, this is where it is, it's in this location, this is the damage that's been caused, and then you can go, oh, right, I see. Okay, well, maybe we should create some media and let people know that lithium from that particular location is causing damage to the environment. But the report doesn't do this, and that's kind of an interesting contradiction in my opinion. He said so many species, particularly fish, are being put at risk through the pollution caused by mining. It would be an easy win to work on reducing this freshwater pollution so we can still get the products we need for the clean energy transition, but in a way that isn't causing so much biodiversity loss. So which species is the report saying are at risk from EVs and renewable energy? Among all vertebrate species, fish are particularly at high risk from mining, with 2,053 species affected, followed by reptiles, amphibians, birds, and mammals. Now, interestingly, the word used is affected, not extinct. So the headlines around this report are quite dramatic, of course intended to kind of shock, horror you. You just read the headline, you don't really read the actual details of the report. It says EVs and electric cars and renewable energy is killing 4,600 species, and you just jump to conclusions to assume the report is really saying that. It's not. The need for limestone as a core component of construction activity poses a real risk to wildlife. Now, the biggest problem from the report, it appears to me, is actually concrete, not renewable energies. Lots of species are very restricted where they live because they're specialized to live in limestone. A cement mine can literally take out an entire hillside, and with it these species' homes, said Luan Lam in the University of Sheffield School of Biosciences, who's the first author of the report. The Benti-toed gecko, for instance, is at high risk due to limestone quarrying in Malaysia. So very specific here, guys. Very specific, right? The Benti-toed gecko is at risk for quarrying in Malaysia for limestone. But it's only specific about things about concrete. Nothing to do here with EVs. It only inhabits a single mountain range that will be destroyed by planned mining activity, says the report. Global demand for metal minerals, fossil fuels, and construction materials is growing dramatically, and the extraction industry is expanding to meet this demand, says Interesting Engineering. Now, Interesting Engineering and many other sources are saying, this is the report, clean irony, electric cars, green energy production could kill 4,600 species. Very misleading here, because the report, in fact, is really saying that fossil fuels, particularly cement as well, they're the key reasons for this potential extinction of 4,600 species. The report, as far as I can tell, does not detail particular species that will be made extinct from EVs or renewable energy. Now, yes, I don't doubt there is some effect on species. But the way the media is presenting this, they're basically saying, fossil fuels, they're fine. Gas and diesel, we need those. If we don't, like I said before, if we aren't burning those in cities, then apparently, methane becomes worse as a result. And that's what these scientists are saying now. Very clearly, this reporting is being done in a way to disparage EVs, to disparage renewable energy. And honestly, guys, it kind of sickens me to see this. If you ever see this here on my channel, I can tell you now, I've been kidnapped. Someone's put me in a jail or something, and they've got access to my password for my YouTube channel, because I would never print this bullshit. In Interesting Engineering, I often quote them. I often speak about things that they talk about. You guys are a disgrace for publishing this complete bullshit. It's absolutely disgusting that you would do this. I don't know why you would lower yourself. Is it really necessary? Are you at the point of bankruptcy that you have to publish this kind of complete misinformation, these kinds of headlines? Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. I don't think I'm being too harsh here, but maybe I am. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.